Podcast. Second half of today's podcast, Monday, November 13th, 2023. We just recapped UFC 295. Now we're going to be previewing UFC Vegas 82, Ailin versus Craig. 13 fights. Woke up today with 14. Marcel lost one. Cesar Almeida against Christian Leroy Duncan off the card. Almeida got an injury and yes, that surgery. Sucks. I actually liked him there as a plus 110 dog. So sucks that fight's off, but still got 13 fights. Hopefully they can find an opponent for Duncan because obviously he was training to fight on Saturday. I'd imagine they could fight like a welterweight to move up on short notice. That would be my guess. Marcel, what's going on, man? Ready to talk about this card?
Yeah, man, all good. By the way, I have to rectify myself first. I said in the last podcast I was talking about against Luis Filho like a couple of years ago. That was Ramos and Bruno. Luis Filho was actually fighting and he was coaching. Ramos and Bruno was the coach, and he's the former Mr. Cage champion. I think he also fought in Fight Nights Global and Cage Warriors, but I had to rectify myself there. So looking forward to break down the card. Always look forward to break down cards with you, man. So it's always good time, and I'm happy we have the regulars here as well as always. So good.
Me too. Okay, let's get some comments here, guys, before we get into the breakdown. So we got a couple comments here, like you said, from the regulars. Get them right now. True, what's up, man? Glad to have you here, True. Crazy Jiu-Jitsu the main event. Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna end up in the ground, I think. Give the card 7 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, like it's not as good as last week's, but it's still solid for fight night. Yeah, I might watch it end up like Lucie and Godinez, right? Like it always ends up being like that. But no, I think this one will go to the ground because Craig pulls guard. That's the difference. You know?
The only weird thing is like that probably one of the best fights is on the prelims, which I would be sure that was one of my main card is Brito against Pearce.
Yeah, no, I agree. After you, what's up? Octa's up. Nox, what's up? All right, let's say we get into it, Marcel. So again, using UFC stats as the baseline here for the bout order, guys. And let's start with the first fight of the night. We have Charles Johnson, Energy, taking on Rafael Estevam. And odds for this one, very close. Minus 125 Estevam, plus 105 Johnson. What's your pick, man?
You go first in this one, actually.
Taking Estevam. I can't pick Johnson. I honestly, man, I don't think the guy's been that impressive. Outside, really, of the Jimmy Flick fight, I don't think he's been that impressive in the UFC. He's like a decent gatekeeper type fighter, but I don't think he's like good enough to like really compete in the top 15. Whereas I think Estevam has that potential. Like that win over Yao Eliash on Contender was very impressive. He's 11-0. He's got a lot of finishes. He has dangerous ground game. Really, that's where I think he'll win the fight here. This guy coming from LFA, Chuto, Brazil, Novo União product. Again, all of his wins, or 7 of his 11 wins, by finish. All of his fights have ended with him getting his hand raised. I can't pick against a guy like that, against a guy who I think is like just kind of borderline UFC. I don't think Johnson's a bad fighter, but I don't think he's great. And I think the biggest thing is the takedown defense is poor, right? Like what's the percentage? 54%. It's not good enough. Estevam will get him down to the ground, and I think he might finish him. But if not, I think he'll just grind him out and win the decision. It could look like maybe like, I don't know if it'll be as dominant as like Durden was, but I think he'll take him down to the ground, get him down. Even Ode Osborne, I believe. Double check the stats there, but Osborne had 3 takedowns. This guy gets taken down. He got 11 takedowns against Durden, 12 against Makayev, 3 against Ode. Even Jimmy Flick and Jalgas, who we both beat, and the Jalgas fight was disputed, but regardless, those 2 fighters took him down too. So he's been taking down all of his fights. I'm taking Estevam. I'll take him to win the fight. You know what, man? I'm kind of leading a finish, honestly, a little bit. Again, I think although Johnson's proven his toughness and everything, I think this guy could do it. Like he's got the ability to, I think, submit him maybe. So, but yeah, I mean, actually looking at it now, Johnson never been finished, right? So that part, I'm not going to touch a prop, but yeah, Estevam minus 125. I like it. What do you think, man?
Yeah, it's a difficult fight to pick. I think I'm always kind of like on how do you say that, hesitant with debuting fighters.
Yep.
Although he looked good against Jaw Elias in the Contender Series, he was supposed to come back. I think he was supposed to make his debut against Zalgas, right? But the fight didn't happen. Now he's fighting Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson got the win over Zalgas, and in my opinion, didn't win that fight. But okay, he got the win. I mean, Charles Johnson, I think he's a decent fighter, but he for some reason he loses fights. I think he can win, you know what I mean? But he loses those. I think it will be close fight. Definitely not going with a stoppage. I think it will definitely go 15 minutes. And I think I'm picking Estevam to win, but I'm far from sure, dude. I think it will be. I think it's a super close fight, to be honest. Like a lot of these flyweight fights in the bottom of between the top 15, top 25.
Yeah, I like him to win. All right, it's kind of cards usually they're expected. Hey, what's up, Zach? One of the acceptable hangover cards after the pay-per-view. Yeah, I agree. Marco Estevam is a strong top king, good prospect. I agree, and that's why I'm picking him to win. I think Johnson's a lot better shown. It seems that Uriah Hall syndrome. Yeah, I mean that's fair. Uriah Hall is a guy that had so much potential but just couldn't sometimes put it together for whatever reason.
Remember that Chael. Yeah, remember that Chael said like you're a contender after he knocked out. I think after he knocked out Bubba McDaniel in Tough, before he knocked out Adam Sala, and he's like you're a contender, and I don't mean here on the Ultimate Fighter. I mean actually in the UFC middleweight division. No. And he looked really good, man, in the beginning. But man, I mean, yeah, Uriah Hall just never came to fruition.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, let's go to the next fight, guys. Lightweight bout: Trey Ogden taking on Nikolas Motta, and the odds for this one -135 for Motta, +115 for the Samurai Ghost. Who's your pick?
I think it's a difficult fight again here. If you look at Trey Ogden, I think Trey Ogden is decent. I think I underestimate him a little bit. He got a good win over Daniel Zellhuber at the moment when Daniel Zellhuber was undefeated and where everybody was like hyping him up like crazy. I still think Daniel Zellhuber is good. He was a pretty big underdog. He got the win there. Lost to Jordan Levitt, split decision, close fight. Could have gone both ways. I thought Jordan was the rightful winner, but okay. And recently lost to Ignacio Bahamondes in a fight that most people expect him to lose. If you look at Nikolas Motta, he started bad in the UFC, then won against Van Camp, and then lost to Manuel Torres. So it's like, I feel like you either go by stoppage for Motta or you go by decision for Ogden, in my opinion. I think Ogden is hittable, but at the same time, I feel like Motta got finished in 2 of his last 3 fights. He's also hittable, but I don't see Ogden knocking him out, to be really honest. This is a hard one. I think I'm going with Ogden by decision.
Roof. I mean, I'll take a +115 consensus dog here with you. I'm taking Ogden too, dude.
All right.
I just think he's going to be more solid in this fight and win a decision. That's what I think. I think it's going to go 15. He's proven he has good cardio. I don't think he's that exciting to watch, but he's like defensively pretty sound. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes in his fight. And
his basics are good.
Yeah, his basics are good. And I think he's coaching a lot of those guys now that Kroos used to have, right?
He does.
So I think his IQ will be as high as it's ever been. Motta has the power advantage here, right? He's got power, but I think defensively he leaves himself really open in his fights. And fortunately, I think Motta probably end up getting released after this fight. I think it's probably loser to leave town, I would imagine. But I think Ogden wins, Marcel. I think he wins the decision. So that's kind of the way I'd go here, guys. I think, the fact that we both like him is interesting to me. I think he's a good dog this week. I think he's a dog that has a good, clear advantage as far as cardio goes and just the basics, like you said, being defensively sound. And having a better chin too, right? Like I'd imagine he has the better chin. We've seen Motta get finished a couple times in the UFC. Ogden has never been finished by knockout. He's been submitted a couple times, but he's not fighting a submission guy. And actually, Marcel, if it goes to the ground, Ogden has a ton of submission wins. Motta's never won by submission, so I think he would have the ground game advantage too. So I think he has the advantage everywhere, and he's the underdog. So really, the only edge for Motta is the fact he's got power and he's a little bit younger. That's it. I think Ogden's a good dog this weekend. I'm taking him. All right, let's go to the next one here, guys. We have Lucie Pudilova taking on Ailin Perez. The girl shakes her ass all the time. Marcel. Odds for this one, we have Ailin Perez. She's minus 180 favorite for Fiona, +150 for Pudilova. I'm taking Perez in this fight, man. I have to after that last fight with what's her name, Ashley Evans Smith. 10 takedowns. She set the record in her division. Beast wrestler, great cardio. I mean, I just think Pudilova is good. Her takedown defense is 63%. It's not very good. She'll be taken down whenever Perez wants, I think, in this fight. And I think she'll take her down, grind her out, wear her down, I don't really love this matchup. I think it's going to be boring. I hope I'm wrong, but I think it'll be a boring fight. But I'm taking Perez by decision. I think it'll be like one of those fights, just take down City, and if you bet on her, you'll like betting on her. I think because I think she's just going to grind out and fight smart. So we'll see. But and hopefully she's been training and not just focusing on her OnlyFans and all that shit. Because you go to her Instagram, I just wanted to take a look, because I got to see the assets, right? But no, I think she's got like this new boyfriend or something, and like this guy, and all her pictures of her and this dude that's like, her ass is there, and then it's like a picture of her ass and then a picture of her and her son. So it's like kind of wholesome, but not really. You know what I mean, Marcel? Yeah, Ailin Perez by decision. I think she wins this fight. What do you think, man?
She pretty much does porn on the OnlyFans. So, I mean,
yep.
And I know it. I don't have OnlyFans. I haven't seen it. Or I'm not, how do you say that? Subscribed or whatever, but I know she does. I don't know, to be really honest, man. I'm not sold on Ailin Perez at all, to be really honest. And also not sold on Lucie Pudilova. It's like, who cares? Yeah, I don't really have difficulties picking this fight, man. Let's go crazy. I'll go Pudilova decision. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking Pudilova. Yeah.
The OnlyFans fade.
Yeah, maybe, but no, I don't trust Ailin Perez. But at the same time, I also don't trust Pudilova. So it's like a super hard fight to pick, in my opinion. And some fight I don't really care about because I don't think it's really high level. But yeah, I am picking Pudilova, but hey, I wouldn't be surprised if Perez wins.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got Lucas Alexander taking on Jeka Saragih, and the odds for this one minus 395 on Lucas Alexander. So he's a huge favorite. Saragih plus 310. I mean, really, Marcel, comes down to, Saragih. I know you like him as a prospect. I know you're going to talk about him in a second here, but really, like, the problem is he got knocked out by the Anheliger Jubilee guy who just got completely fraud checked in his last fight. That's the problem, right?
Who told you I liked him?
I thought you did like him. I thought you did. I don't know. I thought you did.
He's from Indonesia, but I mean, it's not like that's why
No, fair enough. I must have just misunderstood, I guess, because I remember you had talked about him before, but no worries. I like Alexander here, though, clearly. I mean, the line should win this fight. The guy looked he lost to Joanderson Brito short notice when he debuted, but the fight with Steven Pearson looked amazing in that fight. I think he retired Steven Pearson, beat him from bell to bell. Steven Pearson is a decent veteran. He's a tough dude, and this guy fucked him up in that fight, really, for the most part. So I think he's super legit. The line keeps moving in his favor. I think it's warranted. I think he wins this fight. I think he finishes this guy, and I like him a lot in this fight, Marcel. I like Lucas Alexander. You like him too?
Yeah, man, I think you did really well against Peter Stevenson. Stephen Peterson. Jesus. Yeah, he did really well in this last.
Peter Stevenson. It's funny. Right, go ahead.
That's so bad. Yeah, I'm sorry, Stephen. Yeah, I think he did really well against Stephen Peterson. And he really looked good in that fight. And I think Jeka Saragih isn't on the level of Lucas Alexander, to be really honest. I think he wins early, first round, actually.
Yeah, he should win. And yeah, look, because the other guy had that nice run on what's it called? Road to UFC, right? But again, it's that loss to the Anheliger Jubilee guy, because everyone's going to fade Anheliger Jubilee his next fight because it looks like he has no chin, right? And then with Lucas Alexander, Marcel, like the guy looks, when he wins, he looks legit. So yeah, I think he wins this fight. All right. And he's a big favorite in this card. Let's go to the next fight here. We got Mick Parkin taking on Caio Bigfoot Machado, the Canadian Brazilian, making his UFC debut here on his debut against Mick Parkin on this card in Vegas. And man, like, looking at the odds here, Mick Parkin's a big favorite too, minus 345 plus 275 on Caio Machado. I wouldn't lay that number on Mick because it is a heavyweight fight, right? And it's not like Caio is a bad fighter. He's 8-1-1. He's proven he can win. He actually, listen, that fight was fucking horrible with that Kevin Stofarski guy, but I blame the opponent more than him, to be honest with you. That dude was like running away. It was 121-17 strikes, but I wouldn't have signed him because it wasn't impressive. But the guy, he does have a decent amount of experience. He was the Battlefield Fight League champion in BC over in our boy James Lynch's neck of the woods, and he's not terrible. And he's plus 275 as a heavyweight against the guy who's 7-0. Mick Parkin looked okay in his debut against Jamal Pogues. I mean, he won the fight clearly. I don't think it was the best fight, but he won. He should win. He's Aspinall's boy. You'd imagine that gave him a little bit of a bump. But again, you're laying almost minus 350 on a heavyweight fight with a guy that's one fight in the UFC. I wouldn't do it. So to me, there's other favorites. Like I feel better about Alexander at the same price personally. Mick Parkin should win. I'm picking him to win. I think he probably finishes Caio Machado, but I wouldn't lay the number personally. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I'm picking Mick as well, but I'm not as high on Mick as a lot of people are, to be honest, man.
Yeah.
He had that win over Jamal Pokes.
Yeah.
It was a horrible fight, man, to be honest. It was in
bad.
London earlier this year. It was a horrible fight. Listen, man, Mick Parkin, I have to see more of him to think if he's really legit. I think he probably wins the Caio fight. I'm picking him by decision, but I feel like this is like a typical under top 15 heavyweight fight that drags on for 15 minutes and Mick wins.
And how do you think he wins by decision?
Yeah, decision. Yeah, I hope it gets a stoppage for either Machado or for Parkin. I don't care, but I think it will be decision.
Fair enough. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got Chad Anheliger, the monster, taking on Jose Johnson. He's got a cool nickname. What is it? Lobo Solitario, which is a cool nickname. Anyways, Johnson's actually a pretty big favorite too, minus 205, plus 170 on the monster. I'll start on this one. This one I kind of feel like it could go either way, to be honest with you. I think Chad's not a bad fighter by any means. Like he beat Muin Gafurov, he beat Jesse Strader too. I think he was losing that fight and then knocked him out in the third round. So he's got power. He's a guy who's been around for a long time. He's a little bit older, though. He's turning 37 next week, or 2 weeks from now, or whatever. And I don't love that in this division. Whereas Johnson, much younger fighter. Obviously, he's only 28. And the other thing is like the size difference. You have 6'0" versus 5'6", and then you have 71-inch reach compared to a 64. So the biometrics are all pointing to Jose Johnson to win this fight. I don't think he's that good though. To be honest with you guys, I think he's very borderline UFC personally. 15-8 record is not very good. He's decent. I think he could win this fight again because of the size and everything. I'll take it. I'll take Johnson to win like a decision here, Marcel, but I don't have interest in betting this fight. I think Anheliger could pull it off. I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility. We'll see what happens after this. I'm a little surprised they booked him for this one and not the Toronto card in January. But regardless, if he gets a big win here, maybe they can turn him around on short notice too. So yeah, I'll take Johnson. I guess by decision. But yeah, I don't have a lot of interest at minus 205. What do you think?
I feel the same way. By the way, Chad gave me a fun shout out on Instagram. Like when I posted the matchup, he was like, "Hey, the big guy posted it." So and
the big guy,
yeah, on the story, so you can't see it anymore. But
okay.
Yeah. So that was fun. I feel the same like you. I think Jose Johnson should be able to get the win here, and he got some good wins on his record, man. The Mo Miller win is a good win, but I think the Jack Cartwright win is an underrated win on his record, man. That was a really good win on Contender Series. Cartwright is a really, really decent guy, and he was former Cage Warriors champion. I think, I think Jose Johnson gets the win. I don't know how. I would say decision probably, but I'm picking Johnson here as well.
All right, we'll go to the next fight here, guys. We have this is the last prelim, I believe. Yeah. This is the fight Marcel thinks should be in the main card, and I obviously agree. Jonathan Pearce taking on Joanderson Brito. These guys are both good prospects, I think. Very close odds here. Minus 130 for JSP, plus 110 on Joanderson Brito. So very close odds. Since you like the fight so much, I'll let you start that, man. Go ahead and give you a pick.
Yeah, man, I love this fight, man. I think it's a great matchup. It's like, how do you guys say that? Almost like against the top 15. Do you see that borderline top 15 fight?
Yeah, they're both just like in that 15-20 range, I would imagine, right?
Exactly, yeah. That's how I feel about this fight. I mean, Jonathan Pearce, besides his really bad UFC debut against Joe Lozon, remember? I was like, damn. But after that, he won 5 straight, and he looked good in a lot of those fights, Got the win over Christian Rodriguez, which is the only guy who beat Rodriguez, although that was at 155 for Rodriguez, or 145, I should say. Now Joanderson Brito. Brito also lost his debut in the UFC against Bill Aljo. He ran out of gas after the first round, but then got the quick knockout over Feely, got the really quick rear naked choke over Lucas Alexander. And the Weston Wilson fight was a bad matchup. I think it was not a good matchup, I think, for Weston Wilson at all. Should have been made probably, but hey. And he got the Diego Lopez win, remember? on the Contender Series, and before that, he even beat Chapin Mariscal in LFA by knockout. So the dude is super legit. Besides that Bill Alger fight, has done really well. I'm picking Joanderson Brito. I'm picking Joanderson Brito here. I think he can do it. I think he's really good. I think Pearce is good as well. Don't get me wrong, but I think he can get the finish, man. Even that's how I see it going. I think he gets second round submission maybe over Jonathan Pearce. Great fight. I love this fight. This can be fight of the night, man.
Rough.
Woof.
I'm taking him too.
Nice.
A lot of people are on Pearce here. I see it, right? Because the wrestling and the cardio. I mean, you can't deny it. And the guy's good. Like, he's proven that, right? Like, that's how he wins. He grinds you out, drags you into deep waters. He's almost like he beat Darren Elkins last fight. I feel like he's a newer version of Darren Elkins.
Yeah, he Elkins.
But the problem is, like, I can't get that fight over Lozon out of my head ever. Like, he got blitzed early and finished. And I feel like this guy can do the same thing. You're saying second round. I think Brito can finish him in the first round.
Possible.
3 of his wins, his last 3 fights have been first round stoppages. I think he can do it again. The one lost at Algio the decision, right? So that's the thing. If the fight goes 3, he'll probably lose a decision. But I think he can finish him quick. I think he'll could surprise people because, again, one of those fights, it's like Grant Dawson, Bobby Green, where I still feel like Grant's the better fighter, right? Because I think he's better grappler, better cardio, everything. But he got caught early and finished. And I feel like the same thing can happen here because I think Pearce is good. I think he's very good, but I think he'll get caught and finish. So I'm a little surprised that he's a dog. I thought he would be favored, Brito, but I'm picking him either way. First round knockout. So you said submission or knockout?
I said submission.
Yeah, and that win over Diego Lopez, isn't that aging really well now? It looks good.
Of course, right? Yeah, definitely.
So he's good. I think he wins. Brito inside distance, I think so. That's the thing. If his fight goes past 1.5, I think he's probably going to lose. True, personally. So that's my pick. All right, we'll go to the main card now, Marcel. We got the Sluggernaut, Jonny Parsons taking on the Dr. Uros Medic. You gotta love that. The Doctor versus the Sluggernaut, fucking awesome. Odds for this one -230 for Uros Medic, +190 for the Sluggernaut, Jonny Parsons. I want to hear your take on this one, man. Interesting fight here. Two strikers.
It's a fun fight, but I'm definitely picking Uros Medic here. I'm pretty confident in that pick, actually. I think he looked really good. Besides the Jalen Turner fight, which really put us off pretty much on him, remember? Yep. But he looked good since, man. And I think against Matthew Samuelsberger, he had trouble in the first round, but he overtook him and he finished him. He looked really good. If it comes to Jonny Parsons, a lot of trouble, actually, after his Contender Series win over, who's that guy again from Tiger Schulman's? Solomon Renfro. Yeah. In the fight, actually, I thought Solomon won that fight, to be really honest, but he got the contract, Johnny. Great win over Danny Roberts in England earlier this year. I think Uros finishes him, to be honest, man. I think Uros finishes him in the second round.
He definitely could. I don't know. For some reason, I'm leaning towards Parsons here a little bit more so. He's +200. I think he's got more than a puncher's chance. I think the guy's, pretty solid. He looked great against Danny Roberts. Yeah, he's solid. He I wasn't sure about that because it was his first fight in about 2 years, and now he's got the momentum going after being away for so long. So I think he can carry it in here. Medic is a good fighter, right? He's proven it, but I think he is pretty hittable. Most of his fights, he's getting hit a lot. And then in his last fight in Semmelsbury, he got dropped. He came back and won the fight. It was impressive, right? But I still think his durability to me is a little questionable. I know Parsons also got dropped in his fighting Contender, so I get that, but I don't know, man. I like both guys a lot. I like this fight a lot. This is a great fight. I mean, this fight is awesome. This could be fight of the night. I think this could be fight of the night. I think it's going to be a slugfest back and forth. Medic, I think, will probably start strong early. I think Parsons tough enough to take it. Second round, I think Parsons drops him and finishes it. So we got an opposite pick here, Marcel. You don't think the fight goes the distance, right?
No, I think Uros finishes him in the second round.
Yeah, I think the fight not going distance is a really good bet here. I don't think Uros has ever been the distance, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think it goes 3. I probably under 1.5. Yeah, manage at welterweight is definitely interesting. There's no doubt about that. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got Luana Pinheiro taking on Amanda Ribas, one of Marcel's favorites. Ribas -250, +205 on Luana. Who wins this one?
You go first in this one, man.
I'm going to pick Ribas. She is favored here, but I don't have interest in betting her. -250. Like, I think Pinheiro is decent. Like, The problem is I didn't think she won that fight against Wanderson Gomez, right? I thought she should have lost the decision. So I'm kind of like not as high on her now, but she's pretty good, man. I mean, she's not bad at all. 3-0 in the UFC. I think a lot of people just hate her because of that fight with Brandon Marcos where she, she was a legal kick or something and took the DQ. But since then, she's won both her fights. Sam Hughes fight, she looked good in that fight. Ribas, though, like again, the experience, the high level experience against really good fighters. The problem for me is like he's coming off a brutal knockout loss to Macy Barber. She got destroyed in that fight. And now she's coming back here. I know it's been 5 months, but still, like Pinheiro could be catching her at a good time, possibly. So I think Pinheiro's a live dog. I'm not going to pick her, but I think she could win. I'll take Ribas to win the decision, but I'm not confident in it. What do you think, man?
I'm also picking Ribas. I think she has more experience. I think she has fought the better opponents, and also I don't think Luana won against Michelle Waterson last time, and Michelle Waterson is actually also on a huge decline, to be really honest. So, yeah, that's pretty much. And the Brandon Marcos fight, I remember that. I think she was winning the fight, then she got kicked, and I don't want to say anything bad about Luana, but I didn't really buy it, to be really honest.
You said some stuff that day, I remember now.
Yeah, so, and after that, she beat Sam Hughes, which is actually, in retrospect, is a good win, against Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes is pretty tough. I got to go with Ribas here. I think taking her by decision. And Ribas is back at 115 as well now. That fight against Barber was at 125.
For sure, and that's a really good point to make. That's another, like, again, she's back at fighting people her own size, really, because Macy's a big girl, right? So, but yeah, I don't like the line though. Minus 250, I think it's heavy.
She's a big girl in a big world. It's not a big. Sorry,
you're a big guy. All right, according to Chad Anheliger. All right, we got Payton Talbott against Nick Aguirre at 135, and the odds for this one. Payton Talbot's the biggest favorite in the card. The line's actually moved even more in this year. Minus 575 now, plus 425 and Aguirre. I think it's legit though. I mean, this guy looks legit to me, and I think he dominates this fight. I think he destroys Nick Aguirre. I think he finishes him with TKO. The guy Payton Talbot fought, Reyes Cortez Jr., very tough dude. Good cardio. So like that's a fight that's hard to finish. This guy though, he's fighting right now, Nick Aguirre. I know, again, he didn't get finished by Nick Argueta, but he lost clearly. And then all those other fights, here's the thing. So when you got guys on the regional scene, right? At the lowest level of MMA, like, especially if you look at Nick Aguirre's like level of competition, it's pretty bad. And at that lower level, like if you have any sort of ground game, you will win a lot of fights. So all of his wins are basically by taking guys down, getting on top of them, grinding them out. Even if you look at his Tapology picture, it's in like full mount, some dude just raining down punches, right? So like that's what you can do at the lowest level of sport. So when I see a guy with all like submissions or like ground and pound in the first round against 1-1 guys or 0-2 guys, which is what his record is, it doesn't really impress me. Like it might get you a win on the Contender Series, but when you're actually in the UFC, it's not good. Whereas Talbot, he's beating these guys standing, and I like the fact he's been increasing his level of competition because he went from the 0-0, 1-0 guys now 4-2, 5-3, 8-1, 7-2. So he's getting that like step up, and now he's fighting a 7-1 guy. And I think this guy's legit, man. He landed 145 significant strikes in his debut on Contender Series, where you really put him on the map. And Aguirre, I just think he's going to get lit up here. I think he gets finished. I really like Talbot in this fight. I think he destroys him with barrage of punches, strikes, knees up against the fence. Eventually, the ref's going to come in and stop it. Standing TKO. That's my pick. Late first round, standing TKO. What do you think, man?
Talbot, the corporate slave, right? After his win, and Contender said that. By the way, can you look up how you say Nick? You say Aguirre. I said Aguirre.
I probably said it wrong, right?
I don't know. I would say Aguirre, but I'm not sure. So if you can look it up, I will talk. Yeah, I'm also with Payton Talbot here. I really like Talbot. I think he's a good prospect. He's young, look good at Contender Series against Reyes Cortez Jr., Tracy Cortez's brother. Aguirre is like, wasn't a great showing in his debut, right? He got a short notice fight against Dan Argueta. Dan Argueta is pretty solid, so not to take away from that, but I feel also more comfortable picking Payton Talbot.
Yeah, and that's something True mentioned too. Like a lot of his finishes are like, coming after the first. So again, the longer the fight goes, I think it favors him. I just think it's Nick Aguirre. So
how do you pronounce it?
Yeah, Aguirre.
Aguirre, okay.
Yeah, Aguirre. My apologies, guys. I mean, honestly, like
No
he's only fought
problem.
once
I
in the
didn't.
UFC.
I
I do
didn't
want to
know
get the
either.
names
So.
right. No, I want to get them right. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you told me that because I just for some reason pronounced it. I butchered his name there. So Slick Nick Aguirre. I just listened to the pronunciation. So
Nice.
that's his name. All right, we'll go to the next fight here. I think they're easier to pronounce. Yeah, I better get these ones right. So we got Chase the Dream Hooper taking on Jordan the Monkey King Levitt. Fun fight. I think it's a fun fight, Marcel. Two personalities. Chase is minus 220. Jordan's plus 180. You know, I'll start on this one too. I think it's a fun fight. I like the fight. I think they're both kind of in that same spot right now. Like they're both, personable guys. They're popular fighters. They're both coming off wins. Chase coming off a great win over Nick Fiore. Man, he looked amazing in that fight. His striking looked great, right? But again, so inconsistent in his career. Like the fight with Steve Garcia, didn't look UFC caliber. Then comes back and striking's improved. We know his ground game's good. Jordan Levitt, we know his ground game's good. You know, comes back after the loss to Patty and then fucks up Victor Martinez with knees in the clinch. It was beautiful to watch. I love like a guy getting the Muay Thai plum around a guy, just fucking crushing the knees. Marcel was beautiful. Yeah, man, I like this fight a lot. Both guys are good. I think Jordan Levitt's a live dog. I'm not betting on Chase Hooper. I'm going to pick Chase to win a decision, right? But I think Jordan could pull it off too. I'm not picking this fight. I think it's very close. I'll pick Chase by decision. What do you think?
Yeah, this fight either can be fun or can suck ass. You know, there's no in between. I think. Chase Hooper, he looked better with his hands. You know, his hands are getting better. Jordan Levitt, he's like such a weird fighter to watch. You know, in my opinion, he's fun, but he's weird to watch. In my opinion, he got that finish over Victor Martinez last time. He was surprised he got a knockout. He said he never got a knockout. He got that slam, but never with his hands. I think. I feel like Hooper wins the fight, man. I'm picking him by decision. I think he wins the fight. I think it will be a competitive one, but I cannot pick Levitt here. I have to pick Hooper.
Fair enough. Let's go to the next fight here. We got all right. Here's good. This is co-main event. Wow, already there. Jake Matthews taking on Michael Morales. Odds for this one: Morales minus 270 plus 220 on Jake Matthews. I like Morales here. I think he wins. I think he's the real deal. The fight with Max Griffin, you know, was very impressive to me, man. Like he looked good everywhere in that fight. Actually got a takedown against Max. Max is a tough veteran. The other fights with Fugit and Giles, you know, beats them 15-0. Most of the wins by stoppage. Jake Matthews, you know, a veteran. He's been around a long time. But if you really look at Jake Matthews' record, like it's not that great. Like it's kind of padded. His only good win ever is Li Jingliang, and that him and Darius Flowers are the only guys in the UFC that he's beaten, right? Like currently on the roster. So that doesn't impress me. Morales has 3 wins over guys currently on the roster. Morales is legit. He's good everywhere. He's got a big reach advantage, 6 inches. He's only 24 years old, excuse me. Question for me is, does he win the fight by decision or by finish, by TKO? I think he can go either way, but he could finish Jake Matthews potentially too. It's either TKO or decision. I'm absolutely confident this guy wins though. What do you think?
Like I always say in Dutch, I'm going with the Atje here. So Morales via Atje. I think it's a unanimous decision, by the way. I'm taking Morales here. I feel like Morales has lots of upside. He's still very young. He looked good in his fights. I think the Griffin fight is really important in his career. You know, he's a veteran. He fought, and he got the win. He actually won the two of the 3 rounds, in my opinion. Looked good in that fight. Jake Matthews is like hit or miss. You know, he looked really good against Andre Fiallo. Then he looks very bad against Matthew Samuelsberg, gets knocked down in every round. And then last time, short notice, he won against Flowers. I'm taking Morales here. I don't think Morales finishes him, but it goes to a decision, but a clean decision for Morales.
Fair enough. All right, let's go to the next fight, which is the main event of the evening. Brendan Allen, all in, taking on Paul Craig. Got it, Marcel, the Bear Jew.
Paul Craig.
Great fight. I love this matchup. 2 grapplers. Odds, Brendan Allen's a huge favorite. Holy shit, minus 425, plus 330 on Craig. So the line's just going higher and higher on Brendan Allen. Wow, it's really getting up there. You know, there's part of me that thinks Paul Craig could pull this off because, I mean, the guy's pulled off a lot of upsets, right? Like he just beat Muniz as an upset. I did pick that one. Hill was an upset. What's his name? And Goliath was an upset. The Chekawu. A lot of his wins are by upset. So this guy is the guy that can do it. But the same time, Brendan Allen, 5 straight wins, finishing everyone basically. Great ground game, good top control, improving striking, knocking down Bruno Silva. You look at the stats. He's 8 years younger. He's the same size. They're basically the same size, but it's just Allen's a lot younger. Allen, I think, is kind of more in his prime, but Craig is good too. The line's high, man, but I think Allen probably ends up winning. I don't think this fight goes 5 rounds. I think Allen, my guess, if you look at Craig's record, he's been submitted once by Crute. Most of his losses are by TKO. In his last fight, he got on top of Andre Menuz and rained down punches and won by stoppage with ground and pound. I think that this is what's going to happen to him in this fight. I think Brendan Allen will break him eventually in the 3rd round. I think he'll get on top of him, pound him out with the back mount, and win by TKO punches. So that's my pick, Brendan Allen, TKO. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, man. Brendan Allen against Paul Craig. I don't see how Paul Craig wins this fight. That's pretty much how it is, I think Paul Craig is decent, good ground game. Stand-up, not really a fan of. And Brendan Allen is getting better in the stand-up. Sorry, man. Brendan Allen is getting better in the stand-up, in my opinion, and he's a very solid ground game. I have Brendan Allen by submission in the 2nd round. I think he either rocks him or he gets him on the ground, and I think he's better on the ground than Paul Craig and wins.
Yeah, that's my pick too. So there we go. Again, the odds are a little high, but I think he does win the fight. All right. Yeah, no, Allen was taking a lot of money at that line. All right, let's go to Bellator 300. Someone did ask in the chat, Marco. We're going to go over it right now. We're going to go through Bellator. But I will say we're not going to go over every single fight. We'll go over, in detail, I should say. Let's just pull up.
Also, we also should talk briefly about the 3 announced title fights last week.
I thought we did.
No, we didn't. It got announced after the podcast.
It did?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, 1 second. No, I thought we did. Did we not? Oh, you know what? Because I talked about James Lynch on the parting shot. That's what happened.
Bro, I'm not James Lynch. I'm much more handsome. Just kidding. James looks much better than me.
Oh yeah. That's
funny. Oh yeah, he says you don't have to agree, dude.
James just did a 75 and hard, man. I told James you got like the shrunken cheeks now, man. You could look like a fighter.
Yeah,
no, James is my boy, dude. James is married, man. I don't swing that way, anyways.
He does 75 and what's that? 70 and hard or 75 and hard?
75 and hard. That's what you get after.
No, how does it? What does it name?
75 and hard. It's like dude. It was 75 days of like pain and struggle. Like,
yeah.
The thing I was asking about was like, how did you drink a gallon of water a day? Like, I don't. That's a lot of water. He just said he forced himself to do it. So, like the other stuff, I think is like, I'm not saying I don't think I could do it. I like right now I couldn't, but there was a time in my life where I could. But I mean, it takes a lot of discipline, right? Just drinking that much water is hard. That's all I was gonna say.
We can do 75 and hard if it's seconds,
You better fucking stop. All right, let's go to the next. Let's go to Bellator. Actually, all right, Bellator 301. I don't know. I said Bellator 300. This might be the best Bellator card. It's possible. A couple of fights. Yaroslav Amosov. He's the favorite here. He's minus 425. I think he beats Jason Jackson. You like him there?
Yeah.
I like Patchy Mix to beat Sergio Pat. I think Patchy's super legit. He's minus 300. I think that this is the guy that UFC should be trying to get, right? What do you think? Like,
oh yeah, this should have gotten years ago.
I know.
They should have gotten years ago. I never understand.
He actually had a good record, I think, in King of the Cage, right? And they just passed on him. He's good. He's super legit. He's Tatiana Suarez's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So Dana's probably met him at this point, I would imagine, at one of these events. You'd imagine he's going to get signed when they fold. I would hope. It would suck to see this guy at PFL, honestly. He should be in the fucking UFC. He's so good. And same with Amosov. Amosov's not like the most exciting guy, but he's definitely a good fighter. He's 27-0.
I think he destroys O'Malley, man, to be honest.
I think Matt Mix is very good. I'll just say that. Pitbull, Shabley wins.
Shabley, yeah.
His odds pretty high, I think. Yeah, minus 500. He wins. Stockton Savatello. That first fight was close. Man, what's the odds? Danny Savatello plus 105. I think he could out wrestle him and win decision. What do you think? Grind out 2 to 3 rounds? You think he could do it?
Last time was 5 rounds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's possible. I think it's too much of a guess to pick here. I think it's super close. Can go either way.
I'll lean towards Mr. Shit Talker. This fight got canceled. James and Saya. It got canceled today. I saw, right?
Yeah, but passing over AJ McKee, Sydney.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, AJ McKee and Sydney Outlaw. That's a great fight. I mean, AJ McKee's another guy the UFC needs to get.
Yeah.
I think AJ wins easily. He's got good odds. I think he easily wins this fight. AJ McKee minus 260 is a great bet. I think he wins for sure. You like him?
Yeah.
Yeah. The James side fights off. Fortune Gome. You're gonna take your boy Marcelo Gome?
I mean, I think I have to go with him. Yeah.
Fortune's a minus 150 favorite. I kind of like Gome in this fight though a little bit. Kizriev Gonzalez. Kizriev's minus 300. Timur Kizriev. Is he good? Is he that other guy Kizriev's brother? Is he his brother?
I don't know if it's a brother, but he's pretty good, But Justin Gonzalez ain't bad either, So
yeah.
That's
the guy that beat Pat Sabatini, right? With the arm thing.
No, that's James Gonzalez, I think.
James Gonzalez. Sorry, yeah, they're two different guys.
Yeah.
This is
J-Train.
Yeah. Mike Hamill against Tim Wild. Odds for this one. Let's see here. Yeah, Mike Hamill's favorite. He should. Yeah. I think he probably wins. Your girl Denise Kilholtz against Sumiko Inaba. Odds for this one. Oh wow, Denise is the underdog here, plus 100.
I think it's probably a close fight. The thing is, Inaba has only one good win on her record, and that's against Vita Ortega. Kilholtz, it's hit or miss sometimes by her. I think she should be able to win this fight, but we'll see. I think it depends. I think I want to see if Inaba keeps the fight standing, or she going to shoot for takedowns here in this one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Next one we got is Islam Mammadov versus Achilles Motta. I've always liked Achilles Motta. He's the underdog here. Yeah, I might take a shot on Motta. I think he could win this fight. He might get taken down though. So Archie Coughlin against Peter Buse. He's what country is he from again?
He's also from my country, Peter. I talk to him sometimes. He's a very good guy.
Well, Archie's minus 900 though.
Yeah, Archie's obviously the favorite here. I think Peter has a chance. Don't get me wrong, but the thing is, like Archie's really good, dude. So
sure.
And for Peter, it sucks, man. He got Islam Mammadov first, I think, and now he got Archie Colgan. It's like super tough fights in his first two Bellator fights, but yeah. We'll see.
Juliana Velasquez, she is minus 400. It got canceled. Oh, that's the other fight that got canceled.
Yeah, and I don't understand this. Juliana is number 1 and number 2 contender in Bellator, and Christina lost her last fight against Kilowitz, her debut, and she's fighting.
Oh, she fought Dakota Ditchaba too. That girl's really good in PFL. Carrie Melendez versus Sabri Senguel.
Yeah, Carrie wins that.
Yeah, it's Gilbert Melendez's wife, I believe, right? Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Mateos Matos against Richard Palencia. I think Palencia's LFA guy, right?
I'm picking Matos, man. Matos is a good fighter,
Matos is minus 225. Yeah,
Matos. The first time I really Matos came to my viewers when he fought Piotr Jan in ACB. And that was a really good fight. He lost the fight.
That's right. Oh, he was on Ultimate Fighter too. I kind of remember him a little bit. Yeah. The name kind of rang a bell. And then he obviously fought in Bellator a few times, fighting, Magomedov. Cody Law is a huge favorite again. He's only minus 160 this time. Do you think they've given up on this dude?
Yeah, Cody Law is like, if he gets a step up in competition, he fails. You know what I mean? So they're trying to build him up against a pretty much unknown Brazilian guy in Jefferson Pontes, who's undefeated. We'll have to see, man. I'm probably picking Law because I don't know too much about Pontes, but yeah, we'll see.
Ramazan Kurmagomedov against Randall Wallace. Odds for this one, minus 650.
Wins the fight.
Yeah, and then Yves Landu versus Asao Kobayashi. Wow, he has a lot of fights, this guy. Where's he?
I'm picking Kobayashi. Yeah.
Is he a Pancrase fan?
I think he's a Pancrase guy.
Yeah, Pancrase. Yeah. Okay.
He's champion, actually, I think.
Yeah, so he fought in Bellator before. I didn't realize. Yeah. Oh, okay. He fought
Justin 2 losses.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's a lot of fights. Jesus. What's his odds? Is he... Oh, he's the underdog. Okay, so that's a guy to look at. He's got a lot of fights. Cool. All right, that's good for that. Last thing we'll talk about, guys, because we're at the end of the show now. But let's go through the new fight announcements really quick. We'll go through just the big ones that were announced. There's a lot that were announced. Let's just go through the 3 big ones. So we got Strickland and Duplessis in Toronto. I love this fight, man. Love it.
I know you do.
Yeah, you talk about 75 and hard. I mean, Jesus Christ! When I heard this fight announcement, dude, like I was like, "Holy shit! I can't wait for this."
This was 20-inch and hard for
I'll be at the press conference tomorrow in Toronto, so I'll be there. I'll try to ask a question or two to like Jourdain and like Barrio. It's the Canadian guys. Like Strickland, I don't think Strickland and Duplessis will be here. It's going to be like the Canadian guys on the card, and then David Shaw, who's like the Canadian version of Dana White, I guess. Like answering the questions. But he's just gonna like I'll ask him about fights, but he'll probably be like, I'm not a matchmaker, so I'm not sure. Or well, we'll see. I mean, you know what? He's actually decently open with his answers, so we'll see if we can get something out of him. I'll probably ask him. Like, we're also going to go in Canada next year because you'd hope that they'll do another card in Canada. Like this is going to be the pay-per-view, and then I'm hoping they do like one or maybe two fight nights. Probably one fight night, I would imagine. This year they went to they went to one place in Canada this year? I can't remember. Was there one place we went to?
Vancouver, right?
Yeah, it was Vancouver. That's sorry for the pay-per-view. Yeah. Back in June. That was it. Last year I don't think, because of COVID and stuff, right? But now it's back to hopefully a big market. Umar. Oh yeah, Usman. It's Usman, not Umar. We can talk about that quickly. Yeah, I mean, he's claiming it was like a prescription medicine now, so we'll see how he looks when he gets back from this. But Brent Primus, again, gets kind of screwed. It's finding a guy that had a banned substance in his system, regardless of it. Like if it was a doctor prescribed, it was still a banned substance. So he tested positive. I think it's no contest, right? He got fined. So the other fights were Volkanovski, Topuria, and O'Malley Vera. I mean, I like the Topuria fight. I don't think Vera deserved a title shot, but it's clearly a big fight. So any quick thoughts on those? We'll get out of here. Last couple.
I like Strickland Duplessis. I think it's the right contender who got the title fight. Topuria, Volkanovski is also the right contender who got the title fight. And I like Chito Vera a lot, don't get me wrong, but this is the wrong fight in my opinion. I think O'Malley should fight Dvalishvili, in my opinion. I understand if they made this fight in December and they had no contenders to fight him, and you do Vera. But right now this fight is in fucking March, So that's pretty weird to me. It feels like the UFC wants O'Malley to get a win here to make that one wrong that he has on his record, right? And it's possible he wins against Chito, but it's also possible Chito wins, So it's an interesting fight, but it's not the fight that should be happening in my opinion. But I'm happy for Chito, don't get me wrong, but I think somebody else deserves the fight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, cool. All right, is that it?
For me, it is. I don't know if you have anything else to say or whatever.
No, pretty much it. Let's take this last question. Any ideas next for Tatiana? I mean, hopefully a title shot, but I don't know. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Appreciate everyone joining us. We had a lot of fun, obviously, breaking down this card, UFC Vegas 82, and then UFC 285 recap. You missed that. A lot of you guys were in that. Just recapping the card. We had two consensus dogs in this card. We both had Trey Ogden winning, and the other guy was Joanderson Brito. I also took who was the other dog I took? Oh, Jonny Parsons, and Marcel took another dog. It was was it Johnson you took, or
I took Johnson. You took Johnson.
Yeah, that was your dog.
No, Joe, you took Johnson.
Who was your dog? Oh yeah, Pudilova. Sorry, that was your other dog. Yeah, that was the one. So we each had three dogs, two consensus, and we've been pretty good with the consensus dogs, I think, this year. But anyways, hope you guys have a good week. We'll be back next Monday. Recap the card, preview the next one. Take care, everyone.
No, we don't have a preview.
Oh, no. We're previewing PFL World Championship. All right. Have a good one, guys. Peace.